Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of an update to the whole Kronii situation with the whole voice acting stuff. Now, if you guys don't know, we've been covering this over the past couple of weeks or so. Essentially, Kronii, under obviously a different name, was let go, or at least cancelled, I guess, from having a voice acting role in a game called Eternal Return, which fans have not been happy about because obviously it was over a joke that she made 5 years ago about a character in the game, a boar. Just like a little like boar creature thing, and she said it was boring as like a joke, right? Because obviously boring, same thing, right? And that ended up getting her dropped from her role as a voice actor in the game, which obviously was very, very weird to see. But it seems like we have an update, not from just from Kronii, but also from the game itself as well. And essentially they say, notice regarding changes to Bion's English voice, which is Bion as the character that she was supposed to voice, saying, as we usher in a new season, a time when we should be delivering enjoyable experiences to all of you, we deeply apologize from the bottom of our hearts for the significant worry and confusion caused in connection with the change in English voice for the character Bio. And they say, Bion, sorry. We would like to explain Nimble Neuron's perspective on this matter, as well as future operational policies. And they say in this thing, saying, hello everyone, my name is Songmin Im. I'm the service director at Nimble Neuron. The start of the season should be an exciting time for players. However, a decision regarding B Young's English voice actor led to concerns and confusion instead. Today, we'd like to share Nimble Neuron's position on this issue. They say, regarding the changes to B Young's English voice, they say B Young's casting process was conducted through numerous blind test auditions. And we cased Dotavu, who obviously is Kronii, obviously different name, as in because we felt their strong performance best matched the character's direction and our vision. However, due to unexpected external circumstances, we decided to change B Young's English voice, and obviously the unexpected external circumstances was the boar joke, by the way. So we decided to change it, and we apologize to the players who are looking forward to hearing the English voice with the release of the character. So again, they didn't really say much there. It said the characters of Eternal Return belong to the world of Lumia Island. While that world may reflect parts of reality, it is still a separate space on its own story's characters. We've always considered this a core value to preserve Lumia Island as well as Eternal Return's own world. At the time, we were concerned around the discussion around the character could expand beyond the game in a way that might affect the player's experience. Our decision was made with the goal in mind to separate and minimize discussions about topics outside the game. Which again, I don't understand, that doesn't make sense. Nobody's going to be talking about the boar joke, right? They say we were hasty with our judgment and then tried to respond quickly to the concerns we did not properly discuss or coordinate with the voice actor and everyone else involved. As a result, our actions caused considerable harm to Dotavu, our partners, and the players who had supported the anticipated this casting, right? And obviously, yeah, that's true, right? They kind of admit there, like, hey, yeah, we didn't really talk to her about it all that much. We were too quick with it, which obviously, sucks. I said, we want to offer our sincere apologies to the voice actor for not providing enough information in a clear and proper process, as well as to our partners for the difficulties caused regarding the casting process. Going forward, we'll strive to establish a more careful and responsible process so this doesn't happen again. Obviously then they go on to talk about, what they're going to do in the future. In terms of, making sure this doesn't happen, saying that we're not going to be too hasty and things like that. But again, that's about it in terms of like towards Kronii and stuff like that. Now, again, this just doesn't feel like anything, right? They didn't say like, oh, she's actually going to come back and voice the character or something like that. Like, oh, now we understand the reasoning behind the joke and things like that. No, they still, for some reason, have decided to, hold off on that. I don't know why, especially if they've had like a proper talk now. And people are still not happy because, again, they haven't really changed much. They just said, oh, sorry. Anyways, that's all they've done, right? They've just gone, sorry. Anyways, moving on. Like, they haven't, like, fixed anything, right? And, of course, Dotavu has actually responded to saying, I've been in contact with the lead of business and we've been able to come to a conclusion. Despite how I've let down those who were looking forward to my voice, I'm sorry to have let those fans down. The English audition and recording process itself was pleasant. Thank you to those who worked with me there. It is unfortunate how this turned out, and I hope other voice actors will not have to experience this. He said, I recognize that I still have a lot of room to grow alongside many veterans in the field. However, seeing the incredible support and encouragement from so many communities has inspired me to work even harder despite these unfortunate circumstances. I will use this energy to further my skills and do my best to live up to that support. Thank you. So yeah, obviously it seems like Kronii wants to continue to do voice acting or whatever, and maybe keep pushing towards that. But saying I recognize I still have a lot of room to grow. I mean, yeah, of course, but a role like this would have helped you grow, but they decided to cancel it over a stupid joke, right? We said thank you for everything you do, Dotavu. I'll always be a big supporter on your acting endeavors. Saying people who become virtual YouTubers or people who are really into watching them seem to lack social skills. Maybe they're not very intelligent. They said one thing I must gently remind people, as I've been saying, is that I've always been an English voice actor as Dotavu and nothing else. As a result, it's difficult to understand the point you're trying to make when you're involving third parties. I hope that you don't have to talk badly about of others. So obviously they're talking about the fact that they're separating their VTuber life and their voice acting Dotavu life, which I think is fair enough, to be fair. Because of course it can have effects on your both careers, right? But either way, right, I think it's one of these things where I know it's just stupid anyways, right? And again, I think the reason why people are bringing this into this, and I think it is a little bit weird, if you try to like separate it so much, is due to the fact that the situation that this happened in the first place is because of a clip from Kronii's channel, right? It didn't come from Dotavu. The clip didn't come from the Dotavu channel or whatever. It came from Kronii's channel. The clip was from Kronii, like the VTuber Kronii, right? Whereas nothing that ended up getting her dropped or whatever came from her Dotavu account, right? So that's why people are bringing in obviously Kronii into it. Obviously, if it was like a completely separate thing, then I can understand why you'd want to keep the two things separate. But the reason why they were dropped in the first place was because of the clip from Kronii, right? And obviously this little meme that they put here.
That thing. It scares me.
Such a boring.
No, I ain't talking about that freak, all right? He's not here, is he? How do I get this fucking thing off?
One shudders to imagine what inhuman thoughts lie behind that mask.
So yeah, obviously that's the memes that people are making about it. So due to unexpected external circumstances, we decided to change Byung's English voice. Man, shut up. We all know the stupid reason to you. No more excuses. After all these days, it's too late to apologize. Say Nimble, if you really feel sorry, you should speak out. Not just in Japan, but everywhere else too. Apologizing is a temporary embarrassment, but not apologizing is a lifelong shame. So obviously this comes from a Japanese user here, because obviously they put this response out in the Japan account, right? Which I think is crazy. So they decided to release this on the Japan account, despite it being the English voice actor. And obviously a lot of people think they're scared, right? They're too scared to upload anything like this on the English one, thinking that they'll get more backlash. When people were looking at the JP one anyways, you're going to get like the same amount of backlash either way, right? Because they apologized, doubled down, and yeah, obviously they just did both there. Said you don't even have the gut to post on the EN account. The boring joke is the game's legacy. Saying quite telling how once again this announcement is on the JP account when it should be instead on the EN, which yeah is obviously true. They're just EOS already at this point. You don't even dare to post an apology in English. Clown company. There's still no English post despite being an English VA change. What a surprise. And yeah, obviously it seems like they're continuing to be too scared to upload on the English account due to, I don't know, fear of getting a lot more backlash on there than they have been getting from the JP account. Because again, this was all written originally in JP, right? This wasn't even written in English. So it wasn't like on the JP account and they've written it in English like this. This is the original post, fully in Japanese. So no English person would really be able to read this, right? But I think, what sucks for Eternal Return here is that Twitter actually recently added a feature where it auto-translates pretty much every single post that is in a different language, straight off the bat without you even having to do it yourself. So, yeah, it just doesn't really work out that way if you try to hide it in Japanese, because people can still see what it says. It auto translates it. It's just, you know, it's just what Twitter does. And yeah, I think that's quite funny, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. I mean, it seems like Dr. Fu has come to a bit of a conclusion now in terms of, you know, what is really going to be happening with this. Again, in terms of Eternal Return, I just think, you know, they've just kind of put out an apology and kind of doubled down as well in terms of the decision. So, you know, people are not going to be playing this game. People are not going to be happy with it. And they're forever going to have this reputation of, you know, being very, very, I don't know, like kind of unprofessional, I guess, with this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, people just aren't going to play the game. And, you know, maybe it's going to die in about a year's time, right? You never know. But again, you know, obviously, it seems like they're just not going to do anything else. And that's probably going to be about it, right? But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop to use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.